Following up on the sad story of the whale beaching itself on the Hilton Head beaches over the weekend, we are joined by Dr. Erin Fougeres, a marine mammal biologist, the Stranding Program Administrator for NOAA, coming to us from Florida. Dr. Fougeres, you're going to hopefully educate us a little bit on how this happens, because it doesn't happen very often up here. How rare is it to have this happen along the shores of the Atlantic?
Sure. So there's about 4 sperm whales that strand along the U.S. coast of the Atlantic each year. So it's rare, but not entirely unexpected. Although it is less common in South Carolina specifically. There's only been 4 in South Carolina since 2002.
Yeah, we have an awful lot of shallow water here. Is that why?
Yeah, they're a very deep diving species, and they live pretty far offshore. So when they get this close to shore, there's definitely something wrong.
Yeah, why do they beach themselves?
There's a number of reasons that whales can beach themselves. They can become sick or injured. There can be disorientation due to storms. There can be human impact, sound, underwater sound, things like that that can make them disoriented and make them come ashore.
Yeah, when a whale beaches itself, is it destined to die? I mean, is there anything we can do to really save the whales?
Well, so for large whales, typically they're in very poor condition when they arrive on our beaches because they are found farther offshore. So this particular whale was emaciated, indicating that it was, really sick and starving by the time it had made its way to your beach.
Okay.
So at that point, there's really not much you can do except to end its suffering. And then we use the opportunity to learn as much as we can about the species from each event.
Yeah, and that's where I was going next. There is going to be a necropsy of the whale. What can we learn? What good can come of all of this?
Sure. So there is a necropsy being conducted today, and there's a multi-agency team of network partners from across the Southeast, really. We have our local partner, Lowcountry Marine Mammal Network in South Carolina, but we also have partners from North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida participating. So it's a really large-scale multi-agency event, and they're looking to see why the animal may have been sick or why it may have died. They'll collect tissue samples to send out for analysis, and then we also use the opportunity to collect samples that help us learn about how sperm whales live in their environment, so their energetics or their life history and things like that.
Okay. If folks are out on a beach and they spot an animal that has beached itself, what should they do? Local authorities, national, the FBI, who should they get in touch with to report this?
Sure. So NOAA coordinates a nationwide network of volunteer marine mammal stranding networks. And the individual on the beach who might come across a stranded animal, you should never push the animal back out again. Typically, there's a reason it's on the beach, and we want to have trained responders assess it to make a determination about what should happen. And you can report strandings in the Southeast to 877-WHALE-HELP or 942-5343, and that'll connect you with your local stranding network organization.
Okay, that's fantastic information to know. With the warming waters in the Atlantic, are we looking at seeing this happen a little more often? I guess it's been about a dozen years since it's happened here on Hilton Head, but up and down the Florida, Georgia, Carolina coast, with the warming waters, are we going to see more of this?
Well, we're certainly seeing animals in places that maybe they hadn't been before, and we're also seeing, potentially some impacts with prey shifts that make their way up the chain and impact animals. So, for example, this whale was particularly emaciated. We've had a number of emaciated sperm whales stranding across the Southeast since about 2016, and so we are looking into why that might be. But there's definitely a changing environment out there for them, and you might be finding them in places where you hadn't before.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all the information, putting on your professor's hat today. We appreciate it. Dr. Erin Fougeres, marine mammal biologist, the Stranding Program Administrator for NOAA out of Florida. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be back with more of the WHHI Daily News right after this.